Hello, I'm David Piper with beachesrealestategroup.com. I'm a local realtor here on Fort Myers Beach. I wanted to discuss with you today the market conditions on real estate. The stats I'm going to give you is island specific, just specifically to Fort Myers Beach. I'm not including San Carlos Island as well as the other areas off island that are still part of the zip code. So these are, all right, so right now currently there is 190 active houses for sale on the island. There are 13 pending listings, and there's been 30 sales in the last 4 months. So that averages out to basically 8 per month over the last 4 months, which is basically the selling season here on the island and basically in Florida as well. So that translates to basically a 24-month supply of inventory of active homes for sale on the island. What that means is anything over a 6-month inventory is going to be a buyer's market, and we're basically at a 24-month inventory. So in other words, it would take 24 months to sell through the current active listings that are on the island if no more listings were added to the market. So 24 months, that's pretty hefty inventory that we have here. So, and I'll talk about condos here next. And condos, there's 316 active listings, there's 20 pending, and there's 39 sold in the last 4 months, which averages out to about 10 per month. That translates to basically a 32-month supply, so nearly a 3-year supply on just condos and townhomes alone on the island. There's been many factors that obviously contributed to this, and there has been an explosion in this inventory since the last 2 hurricanes of Helene and Milton, and so there are many listings need a lot of work. And another factor is there's buyers on the sidelines waiting for multiple reasons. One of them being that there's not the perfect house that they have been waiting for. A lot of homes need work, need rehab, and to correct all the damages that were done from these storms, as well as there's not a lot of inventory that are specifically to weekly zoned rental properties. There's a lot of homes that are on monthly zoned, and they're just sitting on the market, and many have been sitting on the market for over a year, haven't moved at all, and they've had numerous price reductions, still no action. And these are homes that have been completely remodeled, new roofs, new whole interior flooring, elevated homes even. So it would have even beneficial insurance rates between flood and wind with a new roof, impact rating windows, elevated above ground to the latest FEMA guidelines. So definitely there would be numerous discounts available for insurance rates. And that is the other play that's contributing to the market here is insurance rates. And basically the houses that are at ground level, the ranch style homes, if they don't have a grandfathered in flood policy, because many people have been basically self-insuring it if they own it outright in cash, they haven't been paying for the flood insurance. So they've been self-insuring the property, and therefore a lot of these homes that are on the market are just sitting gutted, waiting to be sold, waiting for the next owner to either decide what they're going to do with it, either tear it down and build new, or there are options out there to raise the property up above the FEMA floodplain level, but obviously that's big bucks, and the prices that I've seen to raise these homes have been basically starting at around 100,000 and on up, over a couple 100,000 at minimum. So there's definitely options out there for the houses that are existing and that need to be elevated. Otherwise, if they have not had a grandfathered in flood insurance, that weeds out the buyers that are basically looking for financing that would be required to have a flood policy in place. And these flood policies can range from, like a huge range actually, from basically $6,000 on up to $28,000. I've heard some people getting quotes for on these ranch style homes. So definitely it's a wide range. And the thing with flood policies, you're capped out at $250,000 max of coverage. So you could have way more than $250,000 in damage from these flood events, and you would cap out at $250,000, and you'd be out on your own for anything above that amount. So there's definitely many factors playing a role here on the island. And I want to make you aware as far as the inventory numbers that we're looking at right now. And there are buyers waiting on the sidelines, waiting to buy. There has been a little bit of an uptick with the current pending properties, because it has been hovering around 8 properties, and now we're at 13 pending. So I think that's just a little bit of because we're in the selling season, so that's a little bit of evidence of that. I was hoping to see more go pending for the season. The island has been busy for the season, the winter months here, from the January through March time. It has slowed down a little bit here this first week of April. and I wanted to let you know what the current conditions are like here on the island. And as far as condos go, I mean, there's a lot of condos still on the island that are listed for sale that are not inhabitable, and that's not just specific to the unit, it's the whole condo building. There's a lot of condos here that are still fully closed off and being worked on and waiting for insurance to come through and contractors to show up and do the work. Many of them are still waiting for electrical and elevator work to be done. So there's many factors with condos, and condos have basically come to a standstill, especially statewide, now that there's new guidelines in place from Governor DeSantis that put in for having to have these building inspections done for condos over 30 years old and over 2 stories high. They have to have special engineered inspections done to verify that the structures are structurally sound. This all stemmed from the condo collapse that happened over in Miami, and I think it is a good idea to have these inspections done because a lot of the HOAs were putting off deferred maintenance, and if they've seen these signs come up with structural integrity issues, then certainly they need to address them as soon as they show up and not just wait when there might be a budget for it. And that's the other thing with condos right now, is that the insurance, right now with the insurance companies are requiring the condos to have a higher reserves on hand for these deferred maintenance events that take place, as well as the work that needs to be done right now, especially here on the island, to mitigate all the damages that have been done from the hurricanes. They've had some pretty hefty HOA condo assessments, some pretty hefty ones, and some of them were over 100 grand. So when people are trying to sell their condos, there's the buyers that are considering these, and then obviously looking at all the financials of the condos. They have to make sure that that the HOA is sound for these condominiums. You don't want to buy into something that's going to start off within a couple months, 100,000 plus assessment on the condo unit. So immediately those condos that are facing that, their values are going to plummet. And that is not just specifically on island, because all these condos that are over 30 years old having these inspections done, they're going to need to have work done, and they're going to have these special assessments. And it's not just about the structural integrity, but there's a lot of condos that have to replace the roofs. They have to paint the whole building. Just other maintenance that is involved that have hefty price tags attached with them. So they do special assessments for all of them because the current HOA fees are not covering all these deferred maintenance items. So that's something to be aware of when you're considering a condo here. There's many things that are currently against condo ownership, and I really don't know how these people are doing it that are in condos, because they've been having to pay all these fees all this time, as well as being displaced from their condo if they were living here full time and not having another place to go to. And then a lot of these people being on their fixed income, having a hard time affording these costs. So I basically wanted to give you a snapshot here on Fort Myers Beach, and I hope this video give you some light as far as what's happening here on the island and what the current conditions are like. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on my phone. Either you can call me or text me or shoot me an email or leave a comment below and let me know if you have any questions. I'm here to help. I'm here on the island full time. I sell in Southwest Florida. I do specialize on Fort Myers Beach here. And again, I'm David Piper. I'm with Beaches Real Estate Group at Real Broker LLC. I hope you have a great day. Thank you.